Today we are taking on a complicated and often emotional subject: modern morality, feminism, the red pill movement, dating, marriage, and why population growth matters to nations and governments. The goal is not to shame men or women, and it is not to sell a simplistic answer. The goal is to understand the forces shaping relationships today, because dating and marriage are not just private matters. They affect families, communities, economies, and the long-term stability of nations.
Exactly. Modern dating is often discussed as if it is only about apps, attraction, or personal preference. But underneath it are deeper changes. Shifting moral expectations, changing gender roles, economic pressure, technology, distrust between men and women, and different ideas about what a successful life should look like. When those forces collide, people can feel confused, frustrated, or even hostile toward the opposite sex. That is where movements like modern feminism and the red pill become influential, because they offer explanations for what people are experiencing.
Let's start with modern morality. In many societies, morality has moved from a shared, community-based framework toward a more individual framework. In the past, people often made choices based on family expectations, religious teaching, community reputation, and long-term obligations. Today, many people place greater emphasis on autonomy, personal fulfillment, consent, authenticity, and emotional well-being. Those values can be positive. They can protect people from abusive relationships, forced marriages, or social pressure to stay in harmful situations.
But the trade-off is that relationships may become more fragile when personal satisfaction is treated as the highest moral priority. If commitment is only valid while both people feel fully fulfilled, then marriage can become less of a covenant and more of a contract that is constantly renegotiated. That does not mean people should tolerate mistreatment. It means a healthy moral culture needs both individual dignity and durable responsibility. Dating and marriage work best when freedom is balanced with duty and desire is balanced with character.
Feminism is a major part of this story. At its broadest, feminism argues that women should have equal dignity, equal legal rights, and fair opportunities. That includes education, employment, political participation, protection from violence, and the ability to choose a life path. These goals have shaped modern society in deep ways. Many women now expect relationships to include respect, shared decision-making, and recognition of their ambitions. For many couples, that has opened the door to more balanced partnerships.
At the same time, different forms of feminism produce different reactions. Some people see feminism as a movement for fairness and dignity. Others associate it with hostility toward men, rejection of marriage, or suspicion of traditional family roles. Whether that perception is fair or not depends on the specific voices being discussed. But perception matters in dating. If men believe women see them mainly as potential oppressors, and women believe men see them mainly as objects or servants, trust breaks down before a relationship even begins.
That breakdown is one reason the red pill movement gained attention. The red pill is not one single organization or doctrine. It is a loose online culture that claims to reveal uncomfortable truths about dating, male-female dynamics, attraction, and power. Some men are drawn to it after heartbreak, divorce, rejection, or confusion about changing expectations. They feel that mainstream advice tells them to be kind and respectful, but does not explain why they struggle romantically. The red pill offers certainty, vocabulary, and community.
Some red pill advice overlaps with ordinary self-improvement. Build confidence, improve health, take responsibility, develop financial discipline, and do not build your entire identity around romantic approval. Those ideas can help people. But the movement can also become cynical. It can frame women as manipulative, men as disposable, and love as a power struggle. When that happens, it may protect wounded egos in the short term, while making real intimacy harder in the long term. Suspicion can feel like wisdom, but it often prevents vulnerability.
So the central tension is this: feminism often emphasizes women's freedom from restrictive roles, while red pill culture often emphasizes men's frustration with the modern dating market. Both are responding to real social changes, but both can become unhealthy when they turn the opposite sex into an enemy. A society cannot build strong families if men and women are trained to see one another mainly as threats, competitors, or exploiters.
Let's talk about dating directly. Modern dating is shaped by technology, choice, and comparison. Dating apps can expand opportunity, but they can also create a marketplace feeling, where people are evaluated quickly and replaced easily. Social media can intensify unrealistic standards because people compare ordinary life to curated images of beauty, luxury, romance, and success. People may enter relationships with high expectations but low patience. They want chemistry, emotional maturity, financial stability, physical attraction, shared values, and personal freedom all at once.
That creates pressure for both sexes. Many women want men who are emotionally intelligent, financially stable, respectful, and confident. Many men want women who are loyal, attractive, supportive, and not hostile toward masculinity. There is nothing wrong with preferences, but problems arise when expectations become detached from self-reflection. A person may ask for loyalty while keeping endless options open. A person may ask for emotional safety while refusing accountability. A person may demand traditional benefits while rejecting traditional responsibilities.
Marriage is affected even more deeply. In many places, marriage is no longer seen as a necessary step into adulthood. It is increasingly treated as an optional capstone, something to do after education, career progress, personal exploration, and financial security. That can make marriage more intentional, which is good. But it can also delay family formation and reduce the number of years couples have to build a household and raise children, if they want children. The result is that marriage becomes more selective, more cautious, and sometimes more intimidating.
Modern morality also changes how people view divorce and commitment. A more individualistic culture may make it easier to leave destructive situations, which is important. But it may also make ordinary hardship feel like evidence that the relationship is wrong. Every long-term relationship includes seasons of boredom, stress, sacrifice, and disappointment. A culture that cannot distinguish between abuse and difficulty will struggle to sustain marriage. Strong marriages usually require love, but also discipline, forgiveness, humility, shared purpose, and a willingness to grow.
Now let's bring in population expansion. Nations and governments care about population because people are the foundation of labor, defense, innovation, tax revenue, caregiving, and cultural continuity. A country with too few children may face an aging population, a shrinking workforce, pressure on pension systems, fewer caregivers for the elderly, and slower economic dynamism. Governments may respond with family benefits, immigration policy, housing reform, child care support, or public campaigns encouraging family formation.
Population growth is not automatically good in every situation. Rapid growth without resources, infrastructure, or education can create serious problems, but sustainable population renewal matters. A society needs enough young people to support the old, enough workers to sustain the economy, enough families to maintain communities, and enough confidence in the future that people want to bring children into it. When dating collapses, marriage declines, and family formation weakens, population questions become national questions.
This is why modern dating is not just entertainment. It is connected to housing costs, wages, education, gender trust, moral beliefs, and government planning. If young adults feel that marriage is a bad deal, that children are unaffordable, or that the opposite sex cannot be trusted, birth rates and family stability may suffer. Governments can offer incentives, but they cannot easily manufacture trust, love, or shared values. Those are cultural assets, and once damaged, they take time to rebuild.
Let's frame this as a SWOT analysis. The strengths of the modern relationship landscape include greater freedom of choice, stronger emphasis on consent, more opportunities for women, more open discussion of mental health, and the possibility of partnerships based on mutual respect rather than mere social obligation. People can leave harmful situations more easily, choose partners more intentionally, and build relationships that reflect shared values.
The weaknesses include fragmentation, distrust, unrealistic expectations, loneliness, fear of commitment, and confusion about gender roles. Many people are told to be completely independent, but then they struggle to build interdependent relationships. Men may feel undervalued or disposable. Women may feel overburdened or unsafe. Both may feel that the rules changed without anyone explaining the new ones. Dating becomes exhausting when everyone is guarding themselves against humiliation, exploitation, or loss.
The opportunities are significant. Societies can develop a better model of partnership, one that respects women's rights and men's dignity, one that values both career and family, and one that teaches young people how to communicate, resolve conflict, choose wisely, and commit responsibly. There is also an opportunity for healthier masculinity and healthier femininity, not as rigid stereotypes, but as mature ways of giving, protecting, nurturing, leading, supporting, and cooperating.
The threats are also serious. If polarization continues, men and women may retreat into separate online cultures that reinforce resentment. Marriage may be seen as too risky, parenting as too expensive, and commitment as outdated. Extremist voices can profit from pain by telling people that the other sex is the enemy. If that view spreads, societies could face more loneliness, fewer stable families, and greater demographic strain. The threat is not simply low birth numbers. It is the loss of confidence in building a shared future.
Now let's use a MOST analysis: mission, objectives, strategy, and tactics. The mission should be to rebuild trust between men and women while supporting stable families, personal dignity, and responsible freedom. The point is not to force everyone into one lifestyle. It is to make healthy commitment possible and respected again.
The objectives should include improving relationship education, reducing hostility between the sexes, making family formation more economically realistic, encouraging responsible fatherhood and motherhood, and restoring the social value of marriage without ignoring the importance of safety and consent. Another objective should be to help people distinguish between equality and sameness. Men and women should have equal dignity, but healthy relationships may still include complementary strengths, negotiated roles, and personal differences.
The strategy should be cultural and practical at the same time. Culturally, leaders, educators, families, and media voices should stop rewarding contempt. Content that mocks men as useless or women as deceitful may get attention, but it poisons the dating environment. Practically, societies should address barriers that make family life harder, such as unstable employment, unaffordable housing, lack of childcare options, and the absence of mentors who model healthy marriage.
The tactics can be concrete. Teach communication and conflict resolution before people reach crisis. Encourage young men to build competence, discipline, emotional control, and purpose without teaching them to despise women. Encourage young women to pursue ambition and safety without teaching them to despise men. Promote honest conversations about finances, children, expectations, faith or values, household labor, intimacy, and long-term goals before marriage. And support parents, because raising children is not only a private hobby, it is a contribution to the future of the nation.
We should also be honest about personal responsibility. No movement can replace character. Feminism at its best cannot make someone kind, loyal, or wise. The red pill at its best cannot make someone loving, patient, or trustworthy. Modern morality cannot survive on slogans alone. People need virtues, honesty, courage, restraint, generosity, fidelity, and accountability. Without those, dating becomes manipulation, marriage becomes negotiation without grace, and family becomes fragile.
And this is where both men and women have legitimate concerns. Many men worry about being valued only for income, status, or utility. Many women worry about being valued only for youth, beauty, or service. A healthier culture would say, you are more than your utility, but you are still responsible for what you bring into a relationship. Love should not be purely transactional, but it also cannot be built on entitlement. Adults must ask not only, what do I deserve, but also, what am I prepared to give?
Let's pause for a word about The New Sentinel. The New Sentinel is a podcast dedicated to in-depth discussions and deep dives across a wide array of topics, from the glitz and glamour of pop culture to the strategy,